Hey guys, Engineer Wannabe here. Oh hey, Bobby's here. Woo! Look at that, just on time.
Hey,
How's it going, Bobby?
Doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good, good.
good.
But yeah, hi guys, Engineer Wannabe here. We're gonna be having a pretty fun show, fun stream tonight. I think. Um, we're gonna be talking about brand impressions based on just the community. So I thought that would be an interesting conversation based on what was going on over the past couple of days. I know, Bobby, you know a bit of what was going on in the Discord groups. Toran might be a bit in the dark, but yeah, we'll clarify. But before we get started on that, Toran, do you want to start us off with the wristwatch check?
Okay, yeah, so today I am wearing the Omega Aquaterra. So your visual focus is. Yeah,
Yep, we can see it. Looks good.
So
Stock strap.
stock strap, yeah.
is the
Not
same
too-
one that Brandon has, right? So 38 millimeters or 41?
No, I got the 41.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I have a larger wrist. So.
Yeah, very nice. Bobby, what's on your wrist?
I'm actually going to use the same brand as Toran has.
Oh,
So actually, I'm going to show you the case back,
Oh, see.
hey,
and hopefully he comes out. There you go. There he is.
really
So,
cool.
yep.
That's
So it's Snoopy 3 Omega Speedmaster on a
looks
bracelet.
looks so good on that bracelet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
The strap is not as good as the bracelet look. And I have the sapphire sandwich one bracelet, uh, unlike yours, Sanjay, which is the Heslite.
yeah. Ha. This is gonna be a 3 Omega stream because I'm wearing my Necton
Awesome.
nice.
on this Hirsch Ayrton. I think is how you pronounce it. Senna's first name, Ayrton Senna.
It's funny,
Yeah,
we all have three different Omega models too, right?
yeah.
Aquaterra,
Yeah.
This
Speedmaster.
was not
But,
planned.
No, no, this is not planned. This is a great 3 watch collection.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's pretty funny. Um, let's jump into the chat. I hope you all are doing well in there. And over here, I didn't ask how you guys are doing. You guys are doing well, right? I hope. Torin, Bobby,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
very good. Good to hear. Wolfgang here came in first,
Nice.
and he's gone to sleep. So kind of cheating there, Wolfgang, but we'll accept it. Um, Underachieving watch collector is here as well. He might be gone by now, but I was actually on the Watchdog podcast this week. So the episode dropped yesterday, and Underachieving Watch Collector is commenting on that. He really enjoyed it. I made a mistake on that podcast when talking about titanium. I had said, and I've said it in a video when I kind of got rid of my snowflake as well, but I had said that grade 5 titanium, I couldn't find evidence of it being harder than steel, 316L steel. Well, it only took me one Google search after the podcast recording to find uh, that it's almost double the hardness of stainless steel, at least basic 316L steel. So huge misstep there on my part. But
Although
what I think happened,
anecdotally, it does scratch pretty easily.
it did. I
Yeah.
don't understand it. I think Grand Seiko must have a different alloy of grade 5 titanium because the general grade 5 titanium is uh, aluminum and vanadium mixed with titanium. So I don't know if Grand Seiko has a different mixture, but it scratches so easily. So I don't understand how it's harder than stainless steel. So that's still up in the air for me. But
My SPGA 413, I think, is the same titanium.
yep.
And so far, it hasn't shown that much, but I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
If,
Clayton from the podcast actually mentioned that his titanium watch, which was the Weiss watch. Um, that one didn't show anywhere either. It was holding up really well. So I don't know if I got like a, I don't know. Maybe I had some debris on a cleaning cloth one day and I wiped it and it just scuffed, the devil out of it. But yeah, maybe it was just me. It was just me. It seems like so. My apologies to you guys if you do listen to that. What I think happened was I had like this confirmation bias probably. So when I was probably doing the research on the snowflake, I was like, titanium, grade 5 titanium, not as hard as steel. That must be what I had been looking for. Um, and I don't know. I remember I had like printed out spec sheets of grade 5 titaniums, and I was looking through the different harnesses. Um, yeah, so I don't know how I did that. Long apology there. Sorry. um, Bill K, good to see you as well from Chicago. Keith couldn't make it. He's from Chicago too. So Peter, good to see you as well. Hope you're doing well, man. Let us know what you guys are wearing on your wrist. Marcus, hey man, good to see you again. Um, Jay is here as well. Good to see you. Wait, I can't see you guys. But good to see your pixels on my pixel, whatever Tim also says. Um, let's see. Anyone else? Bobby Legs is here. Hey man, good to see you. He's on the road listening in, and Chaz is here. Bruce is here. Oh, and StreamYard did what it does and skipped. Nilo's here. Good to see you, Nilo. And Kevin. Wow. Good to see you all. I know, Kevin. Why does it scratch so easily? Kevin's question here is, why does titanium seem to scratch so easily? But, the paper I found, not the paper, but the ASM.MATLAB has a titanium spec sheet for grade 5 vanadium aluminum, and it says the Vickers hardness is around 350, but the stainless steel hardness, which I've known for a while, basic stainless steel is around 150, 157 or so. So yeah, way harder than stainless steel, but it scratches so easily. Clayton brought up that the oxide might be the one that's scratching. Jonathan, good to see you as well, man. Thanks for joining us. Ronan as well. Good to see you. But so I don't think it's the oxide that's scratching on grade 5 titanium. I don't think it's oxidizing because it's polished. It's got different finishes. And if it was oxidizing, in my head at least, I haven't looked this up, but if it was oxidizing, then I would think it would be changing character, changing sheen. And
You're saying that the polishing would have changed too, right? The polish.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. Grade 2 titanium, I kind of understand it oxidizing because it seems to have different sheens. Like it has like a weird ripple kind of look. It's like very raw, grade 2 titanium. So I could see that oxidizing, but grade 5 titanium, I'm a bit skeptical on that. But hey, I haven't looked that up, so I might be wrong there as well. Junior Johnson, good to see you. Scratches are cool, absolutely. I agree on divers, not on dress watches. But hey, that's just me. Corey Wilson James, good to see you as well. Only buy yellow gold. I'm very wealthy and would never consider anything else. I don't know if you're the same person who we saw a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, a couple of months ago. Gold is twice platinum price. For jewelry and timepiece, I will pick gold for appearance. That's a good choice. I love yellow gold. Whoa. Knife Watch. Ryan, thanks so much for the super chat. Thanks for supporting the wannabe. That's really, really kind of you, man. Thanks so much. Robert Hunt, good to see you as well. Thanks for joining us for the first time live. Mez9, good to see you, man. Good to see you again. Yama Navy Graph today. SBGX 335, a new pickup for Kevin. That's great. Yeah, great trade there, Kevin. Hope you don't miss your North flag though. Gold standards for Corey Wilson James. MD Chaz, good to see you. Wow, so many guys here. Sorry I'm taking so long here. JCB is here as well. Nice to see you. Jean Claude. All right, guys. So let's get going. Okay, so my topic for today was going to be images. The image that you portray when you wear a certain watch or a brand of watch. Now, I don't think this is a cut and dry thing. This is just having a bit of fun, but there is definitely an image that you portray, right? Every day that you decide to do with yourself. What clothes you wear that day, what shoes you wear, what watch you wear, uh, what kind of body art that you have, if you have a tattoo or something, on yourself. Uh, all those things kind of portray an image about yourself. And there's that first impression thing that happens, and it's not something that people are immune to, right? Everyone makes a judgment as soon as you see someone. And I kind of wanted to see what kind of judgment, at least my bias, when we go through some brands. And I thought this would be fun for you guys too, that we can talk about what kind of image that you guys have when you think of a certain brand. Um, Try to think of it before we give the answer, and then maybe try to stick to that answer, because when we speak about it, it kind of changes, right? It's like Schrodinger's cat. When you check whether the cat is dead or not, it's either dead or alive, but before you check, it's both dead and alive. Really theoretical physics there.
Now
Really.
you're getting really philosophical.
Yeah. Okay, but let's not go there. um yeah, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and go through everyone's favorite brand, or not. Rolex. Okay, so I'll give you a moment to think of when you see someone who wears a Rolex, what do you think? um, I know there are different Rolexes, so we're not going to delve into like Daytona versus Submariner versus Datejust, right? I think there's a different image coming from each watch there, because if you think Daytona, you would think really rich. Well, that's my bias. I'm not going to go there yet. But yeah, let's start with Toran, since you're clockwise to me. Toran, what do you think when you think Rolex? When you see a Rolex?
Put me on the spot. Well, I tend to think that's kind of like the ubiquitous luxury brand. So I tend to think it's going to be somebody who just wants to wear a nice timepiece and may not be necessarily an enthusiast, but can appreciate luxury goods, I guess.
Yeah, that's great. Bobby?
So if I saw somebody in the street, you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
yeah, I would agree with Torin. Probably a person who maybe is well-to-do, but is not a watch enthusiast.
yeah,
If I had to play the odds game.
yeah. That's a good point, because I was going to say, if I saw someone wearing Rolex, just very generalizing, because it would change depending on which Rolex. But if I saw someone wearing a Rolex, I would think not a watch enthusiast. I'm not going to comment on the watch, and I would say uh, probably someone who just has one watch. Um, doesn't really care about timepieces in general. Just layman maybe, but is willing to show that they are wealthy. So that's
Especially
what I would
gold.
think. Sorry.
Especially gold.
Yes,
Oh,
especially gold, or baguette Daytona. But
Fair.
okay, yeah, that's good. Let's go to the counter brand for that, and then maybe we'll check in with the chat. You guys chime in as well, because I'd love to hear what you guys think when you hear or when you see someone wearing one of these watches. But let's go to the counter brand of Rolex, is kind of generally accepted to be Omega, which all three of us have right now. But when you see someone wearing an Omega, what would you go with? Let's start with Bobby this time.
This one I would have to say which model they're wearing. The only
Okay.
reason why I say that is if they're wearing a Speedmaster, it's a manual wind, so they
Okay.
have to be more of a everyday, like a at least more hands-on, maybe an enthusiast. That's my bias speaking because that's my favorite band.
Yeah.
But if it's a Seamaster, Railmaster, it could also be they're either interested in luxury pieces as well, and more interested in in a different type of watch besides a mainstream brand. Even though Omega is a mainstream brand, it's not definitely not Rolex. So I would say
Right.
that would be, and or either that or a James Bond fan. A lot of
Yeah.
people tend to say like James Bond. So
Yeah. Yeah. Good points. Torin?
Yeah, I largely agree with Bobby, and I was actually going to touch more on the James Bond theme more, just because everyone that I've seen who's like worn a Seamaster always makes the James Bond connection, and that's like just people on the street. I mean, like I just happened to mention nice Seamaster, so I think Omega is good in the modern day. Omega position themselves with their marketing as being very associated with like the James Bond franchise, or I mean, the Speedmaster is still kind of associated with NASA and like going to the moon, but I think most of the time people gravitate towards the Seamaster because it's kind of it's a sports watch and it can handle every day pretty well
Yeah.
over potentially a Speedmaster, even though a Speedmaster is kind of a tool watch as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say it's more of a working professional too.
Yeah,
I think this decade's Omega is similar to '90s Rolex. I think that'd be
Yeah.
a better way to
yeah,
say it.
that's a good comparison. Yeah,
Yeah. Very well said. I would think if I saw an Omega, I would generally assume that they're a watch enthusiast. I don't know why. I guess yeah, like Bobby mentioned, it would depend on the model. If I saw like a uh constellation, maybe I would think it was just a kind of like the day chest of the Rolex, right? Uh, I would probably think that it's not watch enthusiast, but generally, if I saw someone with an Omega, I would think he is a watch enthusiast and is kind of interested in the details. And I would also assume they like Grand Seiko because I like Grand Seiko and I like Omega, but that's just my bias. So I would instantly make the double connection there, and think they'd also probably be interested in like the nerdy stuff of watchmaking. Like how we just talked about hardness when it comes to titanium. Um, so again, all I would completely just insert myself into that category.
At least they would. I feel like they researched it before they bought the watch.
Yes. Yeah.
So at least they have heard, they research. Well, what can I get for this amount of money? Grand
Yeah.
Seiko, Tudor, stuff like that. So at least
Yeah. Yeah. That's well put. Okay, so let's jump into the chat, see what you guys are saying about Rolex and Omega. If you were to, bump into someone who who was wearing one of those pieces. Um, Kevin S. The reason I chuckled there was because he says I need a neck tat. I definitely don't. Jay was saying wanted dead or alive, and Jay would say someone wearing a Rolex would be pure class. Pure class. Um, Nilo would think successful. It's a good point. Yeah, it is a way to show that off. Always go Rolex or Protect. All else is trash. Hey, now, don't say that. Uh, I don't think you can pigeonhole a Rolex owner. They have been around too long, and owners are all over the map. Yeah, I agree. We're not really trying to pigeonhole, just to kind of requalify. We're not trying to pigeonhole or anything. It's just, like that gut instinct as soon as you see something, which is generally wrong in the first place, right? Um, kind of like, like in the streets of the dirty schwa where I live. You can probably see a burly man with a leather jacket, where driving a Harley, and tattooed all over. If I were to go speak to that person, I would be intimidated. But I have done so a few times, and generally they're extremely nice, and they're very kind, uh, warm, and big smile, big beard, big smile. But if you were to see them, first impression for me at least, I would be intimidated. See, so my first gut instinct was wrong, but it's interesting, right? Like it's interesting to kind of explore that gut feeling. And so I'm kind of looking at exploring this gut feeling when you see someone wearing a watch, mainly because okay, there was this gentleman who is kind of associated with Grand Seiko, and yesterday I said while I was driving home, we were chatting in the Discord core group, like a voice chat, and I said, I kind of don't want to be associated with Grand Seiko if this guy is associated with Grand Seiko. But I thought that's really wrong, right? You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. I shouldn't be thinking like that. I shouldn't be um, put off by a brand because of the fact that there's someone else who might not be scrupulous, who's into that as well, because there's no connection there. It's just not wanting to be associated with that, and that person not wanting to be associated with that person. But just because you two different people have the same like, it does not mean you two are partners in crime, right? So that's kind of why I want to explore these feelings. So yeah, just to requalify. Uh, some may say it's completely vain and foolish to even or empty to even discuss this, but I think it's interesting. Let's see. Jean-Claude Bieber sings Squally. Oh, he's talking to Corey. Ajay will keep wearing his no date sub so that no one will come up and speak to me. That's funny. Well, people will still come up and speak to you. I may not, but someone might say, "Hey, man, is that a fake?" uh, Mental Plane says Gold Yachtmaster 2. He goes, yeah, yeah, or like a crazy enthusiast, because man, that's an ugly watch. Most Rolex owners I've approached didn't even really know the model if they're Rolex. Yeah, that's kind of what I've experienced as well. Wither and Manscapes here, hey man.
He's been lighting up the comments.
He actually had some technical difficulties, some trouble, so he couldn't make it. He probably was at the farmers market in the morning, though, as you have mentioned there. Yeah, Mental Plane says Omega is tough to judge. Robert Hunt, Rolex is a bit dated, boring in my opinion. Advertising is all over the place. A flipper's paradise. Yeah, I I tend to agree. I mean, agree with the fact that Rolex is kind of boring, and that's just me though. Um, they have some really cool models, like the root beer. I really like the root beer. I really like the Two Tone Explorer, uh, 36. It's
I
not
like the
boring.
Milgauss.
It's
The
boring.
Milgauss was.
Yeah, Jonathan says it depends on how they're dressed as well. Kevin says, when I think Omega, I think someone who cares about owning a really well-made everyday wear watch. Yeah, well said. Let's jump down a little bit so we don't spend too long in the comments here. Hey, Darren's here. Good to see you, Darren. Thanks for joining us. Uh, Dirty Shui got me on the floor. Yeah. That's actually like a nickname to where I live. So just in case there was some double connotation there. Is someone wearing any watch greater than an Apple Watch? Well, I don't know.
I'm not
Apple
against
Watch.
Apple Watches. People wear Apple Watches. At least they're wearing a watch.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't consider Apple Watch a watch. It's wearable technology, right?
True.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go too off topic, but I had a cousin who worked for one of the major watch brands, and he mentioned that Apple Watch actually, it was interesting because for a while it outsold like most watch brands, and it really forced them to remarket and reestablish themselves like through online sales and things like that. So in a way, the advent of the Apple Watch really pushed the watch market forward, like just to be more modern in terms of how they do business.
Yeah, and I think Jean Claude Biver, the actual Jean Claude, not our friend in the comments, he mentioned that he was glad about the Apple Watch because it brought a lot of people. He got a lot of people used to wearing something on their wrist, and so like so many people, like almost everyone I know has either a Fitbit or an Apple Watch now, and you would think, if 1% of them, or 2%, 3%, 10% fell out got sick of getting their notifications on their wrist and decided to go get a regular watch, it's actually created quite a few watch enthusiasts. I would think, at least, eventually. So that's kind of why he said thank you to the Apple Watch, which is an interesting perspective. Kevin S says, I wanted to throw my grand Seikos away when I saw a Craig ship video. Yeah, so if you didn't know who the gentleman was that I was mentioning before, that's the gentleman. Maybe I shouldn't call him a gentleman. I don't know. I don't know him that well. He could be a nice guy. I'd say more like 1001 J. That's probably something else that they're talking about. Bruce Leroy, good to see you, man. And Scott Wood, good to see you as well. See so many people Apple Watches at work. Yep.
Well, I think that's what he's saying. The number of Apple Watches to maybe a Rolex 1001, maybe. That's
I see. Yeah. Really true. That's true. Mental plane. Sanjay, if Oris makes the Diver 65 and 38 millimeters, are you picking up based on new 38 millimeter bronze? I feel like it's coming for sure. It is definitely coming. I'm 100% sure it's coming. I don't know if I would. I would kind of be very interested. I would see if they actually improved on the Diver 65, because the Diver 65 actually just felt really sloppy to me after some time. Maybe they were going with the vintage feel of it. Bracelet was good. Bezel was atrocious. So yeah, I don't think I would buy one unless if they actually took steps to improve it, like brought it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Are they going up value too? Like because of the new movement, are they going up in value?
In price, you mean, or
Price, yeah, price. Sorry.
yeah, I would think so. Yeah, because they've been slowly creeping up over the past years, even with their regular Solida SW200 versions. So every time they release a special edition, they kind of go up in price. Justin saying I have surpassed Earth for life. I have not. I am still interested in finding the right Oris for me. The 41.5 millimeter Aquis is probably going to be it. But yeah, it's a matter of time.
I'm not a big fan of Oris. I just don't like the design. The only one I liked was a pointer date.
Yeah.
And everything else seems just, it's good. The Diver 65 looks really nice too. That looks like an original. I mean, it is an original design, but everything else nowadays, it's just variations of the same.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, and I have a Doxa, so I think the Doxa kind of gives me a true dive watch feel.
Yeah.
And better bracelet, like you said.
Oh, I love the Doxas, man. I really love the 300, and I've been kind of craving one.
Yeah, I want to try the Doxa at some point as well.
Yeah. I was gonna mention some. Oh, I was gonna say the Aquis is probably the only one that I'm super interested in. It's because it's such a unique design. I know a lot of people have an Aquis, but I still really like that design. And I recently got rid of my Clean Ocean. It was kind of bugging me about how thick it was compared to the regular Aquis.
When did you get rid of it? I thought you had it recently.
It was a while ago. But 2-3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty recent.
Yeah, not recent for me.
Okay.
Easy come,
32
easy
days,
go.
guys. 32 days not buying a watch. How cool is that?
Nice. That's good.
I admire your willpower.
Yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna do when we meet up on Monday, though.
Yeah, me neither. Don't impulse me to buy anything.
Yeah, I'll try not to. We're actually gonna meet in the middle at one of the ADs nearby, Bobby. Yeah, hopefully
And
not.
at 80, you
Sorry.
should be like meeting up in a park or somewhere really remote away from watches.
That's probably a better strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like two alcoholics going to a bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a bidding war. I just know it. Like Sanjay, like, see who
You
can.
want that watch? No, I want that watch. You
Yeah.
can't have that watch. That's for me.
10% over list. Sorry.
Yeah. John, you know me forever. You gotta sell it to me, not to this guy.
Yeah, don't pull that. Come on, man. It's my first time at that AG.
Yeah.
Oh, you're Toran, you're going to his 80?
Yeah.
Okay.
Justin says you'll personally roll with the 300T. I think the 300T, that's the slightly more affordable one, right? I think it had the bigger dial, Colin was saying, and it looks a bit better. I think I would go with the 300T as well.
Yeah, I think the 200 is a little more. It doesn't have. If you're going to buy one, I would say the 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Robert's asking, is it really buying a watch if you can justify it with a sale, more like a trade? Yeah.
It's a buy. It's your.
It's a good way to justify it to your wife. Honey, it wasn't I didn't buy it.
Diversifying our bonds.
I traded my Seiko for this Omega Seamaster. It was totally the same same price. Bobby, what Doxa do you have?
300T, yeah. I do have 300T.
300T.
Yeah.
And yours is the yellow dial. Orange, yeah. Sam has the yellow dial.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so let's keep going. We talked about Omega. We kind of talked about Grand Seiko because I kind of associated the two, but I kind of want to know what you guys think of when you think of Grand Seiko. When you see someone wearing Grand Seiko, what do you think?
Do you want to go, Bobby, or do you want me to go?
You can go, Toran, first.
Okay.
I can go first if you like.
Yeah, why don't you go first, Sanjay? You're like the resident Grand Seiko expert.
No, I'm not. I really am not. But when I see a Grand Seiko, I'd first probably do a double take. I would tilt my head over. I would get on all fours and crawl up to the watch and say, "It's a Grand Seiko, dude! You have a Grand Seiko."
It's not just a Seiko Sarb; it's a Grand Seiko.
Yeah. So I probably do like a triple take and walk right up to the person and say, "Man, you're cool." But yeah, I would think the person is a real watch enthusiast. It's not necessarily true as they become more and more into in the mainstream, but yeah, I would think my personal bias, seeing someone first gut instinct would be, well, that's definitely a watch enthusiast. I need to go talk to them. See if they'll have lunch with me. I'll pay for lunch or coffee, and just have.
Wow.
That's what I would think. But yeah,
they're already getting to third base with you.
Exactly.
But chances are though, my first gut instinct usually is wrong. Like the biker dude, and I would probably get laughed at, and the person will probably run the other way. So yeah, Toran, I think that's easy to top.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't actually run into too many people like on the street who actually own a Grand Seiko.
I've never.
Yeah, to me, I would agree. I would evaluate that person, like in a knee-jerk setting. I would say they're definitely a watch enthusiast, and I think they also just have appreciation for fine details and precision, because I know Grand Seiko kind of prides themselves on that with their marketing and with their execution as well. I mean, you're getting a lot of hand finishing, you're getting a lot of extra detail you wouldn't typically you get on a luxury watch. So yeah, I would like to strike up a conversation too. I think I would be more ready to engage in that person if I saw them wearing a Grand Seiko.
Yeah. How about you, Bobby?
I think so. So yesterday, I went to a very high end sushi place here in Miami. It was omakase, and their precision to detail, and Japanese. Their each course was very meticulous, and the chef would look at you, make sure you finish it or about to finish it because he would be preparing the next one. I
Wow.
think Japanese art and precision and accuracy. I think that's when I say Grand Seiko, and I think it's a person who loves art. I guess because the dials are beautiful and precision and like a artistic side of the person. I guess. I feel like that one my person might be a watch collector. I don't think it's their only watch. I think it's a person who collects more than I haven't seen a person who just owns a Grand Seiko. I think it's a person who's collected before and has experienced other watches, and I think they appreciate this thing. And I agree. I agree with both of you. I think it's worthy talking because I think they know what their watch is. Like they'll say it's a spring drive, or they'll say it's a high accuracy quartz, and it has a Zeratsu polishing. They'll say all that stuff. So
Yeah.
they will know the watch lingo, so to speak.
Yeah. You know what? I that's funny because you know what I would say if someone did come up to me and say, "Hey, man, nice watch." My favorite thing to say is, "Thanks, man. It's just a Seiko," and see what they say. Because that's happened a few times. Um, Someone's complimented my watch, and no one's actually gone further after that. So, I kind of test that person back in the sense, just saying it's just a Seiko, just to see if they would say, "Man, get out of here. That's a Grand Seiko." I want that conversation to happen because then we can start talking about it. But yeah, yeah,
So yesterday when I was at the sushi place, the person next to me
yeah.
was wearing a Speedmaster
Wow.
Japanese dial, like the pink markers. I don't know if you ever seen the Japanese racing dial.
No, I
I was
haven't.
like, and I was like, he's interesting, but I did talk with him. I didn't talk about the Speedmaster that much. Just it's really weird to. I don't usually say, hey, you have a great watch. I would say, the night made a nice meal, right, and everything, and go from there. But he had a Japanese Speedmaster on racing, which was interesting.
What? Oh, and you were wearing your SPGA 413,
Yeah,
the spring.
yeah,
Yeah,
Nice.
you had to.
yeah.
Let's kind of go on piggyback on that and talk about Seiko. If you guys saw a Seiko on someone's wrist, just in a distance, what would you think? Torn?
I mean, to me, it almost depend on the model, but
Well, you can't tell. You can
you
kind of
can't tell.
just
Okay,
see
so
that it's a Seiko. You just see like the script, and you know it's a Seiko, but you don't know what it is. What would you think?
yeah, I mean, first judgment, I would tend to think someone who wants like a good, reliable watch, like kind of blue collar, getting, like appreciates a timepiece, but just kind of getting into it, and likely has other more affordable watches like Citizens or Orient or Tissot or something like that.
Yeah. How about you, Bobby?
I think it's an everyday man's watch. I
Yeah.
think it's a mechanical, like Toran said, the best word is saying blue collar everyday watch. I think a person who appreciates mechanical stuff, like not interested in the Apple watches or anything, because there's so many options out there, and that person chose a Seiko.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
this is funny because this happened to me at a Best Buy. I saw a guy wearing a Seiko, and it was one of the employees there. I was actually picking up this microphone right here.
Nice.
Um, and the guy, I saw he was wearing a Seiko, and I saw he was wearing it on a steel bracelet. I didn't know what Seiko was. It didn't. It looked oversized, so I was thinking it was kind of one of those solar Seikos. But I said, "Hey, man, I really like your watch." And turned out he was kind of like a new watch enthusiast. He was like, "Oh, thanks, man. I got it here. At Best Buy, we kind of sell watches every once in a while, and I use my employee discount, and I got the Seiko." And I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking of doing like one of those watch gang things." And I was like, "No, no, don't do that." And he was like, "No." And I said, "No, no, do your own research, man." And so it actually led to a really good conversation. So um, yeah, even if you do see a Seiko,
Did
you
you
want to have
hold
a
up the line behind you? Like,
no, I made sure. I made sure there's no one
okay.
there. Yeah, and yeah, I gave him my contact information too. I said, hey, just reach out to me because this is like my neighborhood Best Buy. If he needs advice or anything, I would be more than happy to chat with him. It was a really great conversation. But
I mean,
yeah,
it's the right path to becoming a horological addict, right? The Seiko. Like you start
maybe I shouldn't talk to him.
Yeah, well,
Run, man, run while you still can. Don't.
get a fossil watch.
Yeah, close the door on this chapter. Let's go
yeah,
into
get one of
the
those Invictas that weathered Manscaped gloves.
yeah.
One of those oversized Invictas.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I've commented on an Invicta too, but we'll get to that.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
uh, let's see. Uh, what Jay was saying, Oris, tough price point. I'd rather put that money into a higher end watch.
That's a good point. I think, or is this getting to a price point where you're thinking, all right, is it worth the this thing, or should I pay more, or should
Yeah,
I go below and buy something like a Seiko Turtle or something? That's where,
yeah,
or if they're playing around, it might get a little risky.
yeah.
I
And
say
when it
if you
comes
can
to
get
like
Oris like below retail, then it's really good.
Yeah,
yeah, when it comes to like the Caliber 400 models, they're all like above Tudor retail price. They're above the Black Bay 58.
that's
Um, so
that's concerning.
yeah, only by a few $100s, but they're still above.
Yeah,
At least in
and it's
Canada.
just right. So if you're telling me that, that's right below Seamaster level.
Yes. Yeah.
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 So get a couple hundred more than
Yeah.
Seamaster and versus. So
Yeah. It's tough, but if you really like I really like the Aquas, and I really wanted when I first got the Cal 400, I really wanted it, which is why I bought it.
but
Um,
my question is like the Nectin, right? Let's just say it came on a rubber strap
yeah.
for $4,300. Which would you choose? An Aquis for a couple
Oh,
$100s less, or with the bracelet versus an Omega Seamaster Nectin?
Nectin easily.
And
Uh,
that's for a new buyer. I don't know. That's going to be concerning.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Business wise, I think they were before they were at a better price point. Like what
Yeah.
Toran's saying, I think getting a big discount would be the way to go.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Darren saying Torn has a light trigger finger in an ED setting.
Yeah, he's witnessed that firsthand a few times.
Yeah. Oh, I can guarantee you Torn is coming home with a Chapek or a
Wow.
Longer.
Do they deal in Quebec?
Yes, they do.
Oh,
It's such a cool AD, man. They've got Moser, Chapek, Parmigiani, and Laurent Ferrier. And I wouldn't have been able to experience those if it weren't for them. So
I'm really digging Quebec
yeah.
recently. It's amazing the Antarctic model.
Yeah, and you don't get the baggage of Laurent Ferrier. I think Laurent Ferrier has a bit of brand baggage, right?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's getting better now. Lawrence Perry is also really good.
Yeah, okay. That's good. But yeah, I really like Chapek. Is it really buying? Oh, we saw that one. Sorry. um, let's scroll down a bit. Never seen anyone wearing a Grand Seiko in real life. Me neither. Mes 9. Don't see him. Nope. Uh, Where have you been all my life? I'm guessing he's commenting on if I saw someone wearing a Grand Seiko. A lot of people are buying Grand Seiko to experiment. Couple of non-family friendly comments here. Feeding Grand Seiko owners worldwide. I would to have a conversation with
Did
someone.
the GS Club come up to North America, Canada yet? Or not yet?
No,
Okay.
not that I know of, at least. It's just a US thing. Which is why I kind of want to go purchase a Grand Seiko in the US, especially one that I can't get here, like the Four Seasons, either the spring or the winter. Those are really high up on my list. Yeah, for my 30th birthday, I kind of want one of those as like a special watch. Then I'll be part of the GS9 club. What do you get from me for a regular Seiko? Just a comment. Grand Seiko in Tennessee is super undercover, Chaz. Let's keep going down here. What if someone got a Crador? That depends on if it's like a Crador Fugaku. I don't think I'd see that person. That person would be on a helicopter and owning their own island, right? Or if it's like a vintage Crador, like a Crador Phoenix, that's more likely, like getting struck by lightning. Yeah, no problem. So, Justin says Grand Seiko is all about the aesthetic. Jay, let's chip in to send me to Japan. Yeah, I'm all for that. Except I can't go. I wouldn't be able to see my kids. I really like seeing my kids at the end of the day. So,
I'm not tied down. I'll go.
Yeah, there you go. Ronan says, since we're talking about watch brands and one's perception of the wearer of said brand, anyone seen Watch Gringa's Flex video? Quite interesting. We're actually going to talk about that in Watch Soup tomorrow. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I hope to tonight. Have you guys seen that video yet? Or?
Not yet.
No. I've not really been able to get through a Watch Gringa video. I know she seems really nice, but I have this thing about inebriation that kind of makes me uncomfortable. So when someone's drunk, I'm really uncomfortable. She makes me really uncomfortable.
I don't watch that channel. Sorry, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
So when you
Yeah,
said drunk, I was
she
like,
likes
what's
to
happening?
drink with her videos.
Okay.
But
So-
I think it's done in a lighthearted way, not like,
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a personal thing. I just get a little uncomfortable.
It's probably like a few takes of the video.
Yeah, I think she was originally Canadian, right? And then she married that rich watch guy. Can't remember his Instagram, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the history there, but
Watch
she
Pappy.
seems really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But since Rob from Bobby Leg's YouTube channel, he picked that video, so I kind of have to get through it. So if you see me being a little anxious tomorrow, that's why. Justin says she is Canadian. There you go.
Yeah.
Mental Plane says Watch Gringa is really loud.
So a loud drunk Canadian, right?
I guess so.
I mean, that goes against the stereotype.
Yeah. That's against the brand prototype, right?
Clayton's here. Hey, Clayton, good to see you. Thanks for joining us, man. Had a real blast with you on Wednesday night. Danny Castine, good to see you, man. Best value GS quartz, auto spring drive, one of each. Is that a question? Best value Grand Seiko quartz, I would say, is the SBGX to... I can't remember the reference number. The entry level Grand Seiko, you get an entry for like $1,000, $1,500. You get a really high end 9F quartz. So, spring drive, I would say, would be the SPGA 283, 285. Really I think US dollars around $3,500, $4,000 maybe, and it's the smallest spring drive automatic or automatic spring drive.
When you say smallest, means like lowest price.
No, oh, it is the lowest price, but it's also the smallest in
Size.
dimensionally.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 39 millimeters, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, best value auto,
221.
yeah, SPGM 221 for sure. That's it, right? The high beat, best value high beat was probably going to be the SBGJ 201, Mount Iwate high beat GMT. I'm sure I missed a few comments here. I'm sorry, guys.
Well,
StreamYard just keeps skipping.
I can ask one question here from Justin. It says he's
Yeah.
been experimenting lately, getting feels for things I never thought I would be into. Panerai. So that's a question for you guys. Panerai.
Panerai. I
When you
really
see
like
a
the Duet.
No, when you see a person with a Panerai wearing a Panerai.
Oh, I would think.
Here in
One,
Miami, there's Panerais everywhere. Like people wear Panerais left and
yeah,
right.
I've never seen someone wearing a Panerai in real life. I don't think maybe it's not a Toronto thing, but I
I've
would
seen
think
only one in the wild, and
you
it
have.
was like near Niagara actually.
Oh, okay.
And the guy, I mean, just from that one person, the guy came off kind of snobby, and I don't know if maybe that's like part of the Paneristi culture.
He was elbowing his way to the front. Yeah.
That's kind of what I would think too, based on the Panerai Steve. What I've heard about the Panerai Steve, I would think very pedantic. So I wouldn't lay down any facts in front of them for fear of being corrected, or I would just avoid them.
I think the thing is when I see the watch, I really like the watch. It looks good on a person's wrist.
Yes.
When you see a person wearing Panerai, you're like, oh, that's a great looking piece. The person itself, it's got to be a dude who's it's got to be a guy usually because it's like 44, 47 millimeters, and it's usually a person who wants to show it off because it's a show off watch too. Panerai, you don't not notice it.
The Due kind of
It changes now recently because of the last couple of years with the Duet, but I think majority of them, 99.9% is male.
The Due is really expensive, right? Like egregiously expensive. Is it? No. Okay.
No, it's not. Compared to the, it's cheaper.
Yeah, because I really like the way the Due looks.
But it does have the 30 millimeters water resistance.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing.
For
It's kind of a
that's
kind
like
of a
a Submariner having a 30 meter water.
yeah.
I actually have the same fear of like it would be outside my comfort zone, but I'd be worried about falling in love with it, like a Panerai, and then like just being obsessed with like finding one. And I don't know anything about Panerai to be honest, but I feel like for my wrist size, it would be a good watch.
Yeah, I think it's a great watch. I think I've owned one. I've always thought of getting another one, but the dial is so big, huge, and it's just dial. It's just like watching. It's a glass and dial, and it's so simple to watch. Legible, and yeah, I like it.
Bobby, you used to have the 42 millimeter submersible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like with the blue accents.
Yep.
Do you still have it, or?
No, I don't. But it was a nice watch.
Yeah, I remember that. Like one of the first conversations we had on like AB's chat group was you telling me to buy the 42 millimeter Panerai submersible.
Yes. It's still the other thing is one of the few ones that keep value. A lot of Panerais are going down. That one is still keeping value. It's a good one.
Yeah.
What's a good what do you think is a good value Panerai right now? That
I think to get if you're getting just a base, like a 000111, base 44 millimeter, just in case if you want to enjoy it, and then if you're not happy with it, and it's a brushed case, so ding it on something, it should be okay, and then you shouldn't lose money too.
Cool.
Yeah. Sanjay needs to sip some Canadian Club in the next video. I'm not sure what Canadian Club is. Is it like a beer?
No, Canada Club CC is whiskey or rye.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, you've had to have seen it. I just picture you drinking it from your chalice or whatever you have.
Yes, my bronze chalice. No,
Yeah.
usually it's either iced coffee or chocolate milk. So
Okay.
that I'm drinking. You're welcome, Danny. Thanks. Thanks for the question. It was a fun question. Kevin says you see a lot of Panerai in New York City. There you go.
Kind of like a Metro City type of watch.
Yeah. Bruce just stepped out of a King Kong movie. My condolences. I don't know. Was that the King Kong versus Godzilla thing that's been going around lately, or?
No, that's on. Well, I saw it on HBO Max.
Yeah.
It was an okay movie.
Yeah.
It looked okay.
Yeah.
Miami, it's totally
yes. Miami watches are a different category of watches. Like you will see people wearing watches here. Like if you stay here for a couple of days, just go around. You can see. I don't know if they're real or not, but you'll see an AP. You might see a Rolex. You'll see Panerai. You won't see Grand Seiko.
Mental plane saying when I see someone wearing Panerai, I think poor guy. Yeah. He used to own the Pam 49. I'm guessing it was heavy. I'm not sure. Danny works with Chinese factory owners. Only thing they wear are Rolexes. Never seen a Panerai in the wild. Only in my AD. There you go. Marcus says he loves his PAM 177 titanium case sandwich dial.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
That's a nice looking one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Moser.
Oh, I can speak on Moser.
The only one who owns a Moser here is Bobby. What do you think if you see someone wearing a Moser?
I think they are stepping outside the box. Like
Yeah.
the people who buy the traditional brands, and those traditional brands are like, let's say Rolex, Patek, AP. And then the Mosers are people who want completely something different. And I think it's a small community because they only make 1,000, 2,000 watches, I think.
Yeah.
And so it's like a niche collector. And it's definitely not a single watch collector.
Yeah.
It's a person who's tried the buffet and said, no, give me something outside the menu or chef special. And there are a few medals and their moons. Beautiful.
Yeah. How about you, Toran?
Yeah, I think if you own a Moser, you're like a watch connoisseur. And I think you're right. You've probably tried mainstream brands before, and you just want something that's kind of steps outside of that and wears differently with the rest of your collection. I don't necessarily see it as like a one watch collection. I think it kind of goes in with a couple of watches in a rotation.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that as well. I would think some of the, I guess I would think of some of the ironic ads that they've been having lately.
Yes.
You know how they make fun of particularly commercials and things like that. So, I mean, that kind of turns me off a bit, but kind of like being overly ironic. You have that balance, and then you step out of it, and then you're like gonna be a hipster.
I think that's a good, you could say an independent hipster brand, but I think if you see the watch, like forget about the commercials, all the commercials, whatever, it's one side.
Yeah.
Once you get the watch in your hand, you're like, oh my gosh, that's,
Yes.
especially the Green Dragon, which I have, it's like, that is a good watch. So I think, I don't think about commercials, I don't think about anything else. I just think about that and the bracelet.
Yeah, when I saw the Green Dragon, I was blown away by it. But yeah, if I did see a person with a Moser, I would think I would be blown away first, because I would be surprised about it. But I don't know if I'd approach the person.
I probably would, because I know something about it, but
Yeah.
And I own one. I would be interested to see why they got Moser.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, let's go way down the ladder and think Tissot, the brand which has almost no identity. Um, if we were to see someone with a Tissot, what would you think? Let's. I'll go. I'll go with this one. Um, I would say it would be almost the antithesis or the mirror image of the Rolex um, customer, except it would be like a working working class uh, person maybe versus Rolex. I would think someone who's well off. Tissot would be a layman, not a watch enthusiast, but someone who is kind of on the mirror image of that Rolex consumer. Um, Mainly because of their marketing. I would think, and they don't really have save for some exceptions. I would think that person is someone who's just a person who wanted a good watch and purchased a Tissot and is done with it. So I would be very unlikely to approach a person and try to have a conversation with them based on that. But again, I would probably be wrong, so I would try to go against my initial gut feeling and try to initiate a conversation saying, "Hey, that's a really cool watch." But what would you say, Toran?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, if there's a spectrum of like Swiss watchmaking, I feel like Tissot is the start off. So someone who's just getting into it and wants to see a watch. Like for me personally, the first Tissot I bought it because it said Swiss made on the dial, and that was like it.
Yeah,
And yeah, it was kind of like their budget, like quality Swiss watch for more of a blue collar everyday type of situation. And yeah, I don't know that they would be an enthusiast per se, but they might just be starting that journey.
yeah. How about you, Bobby?
I would just say the word vanilla.
Yeah,
It's like a vanilla type of watch. It can't, So that would be
yeah.
mine.
They have some really cool pieces though, just
The
to add,
PRs, yeah.
because they have like this chronograph that you can unscrew off your strap and stick it onto like a table, um, a stand, like a table stand. So the strap is basically like a set of lugs, and the head, which has the movement, screws into the lugs. I forget what it's called, but man, that one's really cool. If I saw someone wearing that, that would be on the next level of Tissot. But yeah, like Peter just mentioned, nothing wrong with Tissot.
I like
Um,
vintage Tissot. Like if someone was wearing like a vintage Sea Star or something, I think that'd be pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. Let's check in on the chat. Maybe we'll stop there. I was hoping to get through some watch pet peeves from last week from the comment section, because some people had some really good additions. Let's see. How much does a Krator Phoenix Chrono cost today? I'm not sure actually. Probably around. Shaluso was mentioning around 11,000, I think.
Well, I've seen Creedor Phoenixes on eBay recently for like 2,000, but
Oh, really? Huh.
yeah, I mean, and that was the chrono. I don't know about condition, and I
Yeah.
always wanted one, but I think it's an integrated style bracelet, and they never had enough links. Like you would have to have like a 6.5 inch wrist to buy like a used one. Yeah.
There you go. It's made for me. uh, just to know about Moser, you got to know watches. That's true. Yeah. Marcus says, I had a Moser Pioneer Central Seconds. The automatic winding broke within 2 months. Too risky with only 2 years of warranty. Got rid of it the moment it came back from repair.
They do everything in house though, so I'm surprised. The HMC 200 movement, which is usually shock like shock resistant. I should say shockproof. Nothing shockproof.
Tissot Chaz says his watch enthusiast beginner. It's true.
True.
Tissot was my first watch. No, second watch. Seiko was my first, but
I feel
Tissot.
Seiko's. I would prefer Seiko over Tissot.
Yeah, I would.
The very first video review I released like 3 years ago, it was a Tissot. I think it was a C-Star chronograph, like a quartz one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what started it. Yeah.
My first one was a chronograph as well. It was a quartz PR 100, I think. So one of like the dressier quartz Tissots. Peter saying there's a scratching sound. There is.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah. Don't know if it's from me. Oh, I think it's from Bobby.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Yeah,
Bobby. Yeah.
Cool. Maybe it's like the headset scratching up against your shirt or something, Bobby. But we're almost done for the night, so.
Although I do want to remark, Bobby, I like your background studio setting. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's my desk. This is my this is the iMac, the desktop. I usually use the laptop.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So this is where I do a lot of the work. So office, so to speak.
Yeah. I also like your shirt.
I'm on vacation too, so till Wednesday.
Yeah. Mental Plane says a person who wants to enter the world of Swiss watches, the Tissot. Jay with a hot take here, can't really start with nice Tissot because there isn't any. We disagree, and I'm sure Jay disagrees as well. He's just.
Have you seen the new Tissot C-Star? The what was it? The 600-meter one? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little big though. Like it's a professional dive watch.
Yeah. I used to own the C-Star 1000, so the 300-meter one. It really is the cheaper Omega Seamaster. Like everything from the previous Omega previous C-Star 1000 even had like the liquid metal looking ceramic bezel to make it look like the previous gen Seamaster. So now they have like this scalloped bezel, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Gotta love the Swatch group. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why they're doing that.
Do you hear the scratching now? Just want to make sure.
No.
Okay. It's better.
Yeah. Jay says Tissot. Justin says Tissot is the official timekeeper of Tour de France. I didn't know that. Tag Heuer also. I think in my head, Tissot and Tag Heuer are pretty close.
Yeah, I bought a Tag Heuer after my Tissot, so it's pretty close in my mind.
I was really disappointed in the Tag Heuer Mario. I was really hoping for something like an automatic or something, but luckily for us, it's a smartwatch.
Seiko's got to do. Seiko really's got to do something with Nintendo. Like
yes.
Because Seiko 5 would like slot in really nicely with the Mario
like
watch.
The Street Fighter editions.
The Street Fighter, yeah.
I would probably buy a Mario theme one.
That would break your 32-day watch fast.
Yeah. All right, guys. So before we end, let's go through last week's comments on the watch pet peeves. And if you guys want to add any pet peeves, we can quickly do that too. That Peeves mentioned last week that he cannot deal with watches that have no minute markers or hour markers. So basically Moser, Movado. And I tend to agree. I would struggle dealing with that because of how I set my time. I have to pop the crown right on the 12 o'clock and I would have to set it right to the minute. And I would have to make sure the minute hand is aligned with the minute marker. And then push in the crown to my reference time. So no minute markers would drive me insane because I'd only be able to set the time every 5 minutes, based on the hour marker, and no hour markers I would cry. So I couldn't do that.
I think some of the Mosers have that, but most of the Mosers, like the Green Dragon, has hours and second
Yes.
hands. So I think
Yeah.
that should be. I mean, I agree. I wouldn't want to watch just has like like what was that company? MVMT.
Yeah, movement, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
No.
I wanted to watch with no markers, I would just go digital and get like a Casio.
Yeah. That would be funny. Okay. Chat real quick. Anyone? Jonathan Robinson saying, I think anyone who's wearing a watch these days at least has my respect. Yeah, I agree. We're just kind of having a laugh. It's not really that serious. Well, what we're talking about. It's just instant judgments that we make all the time. In case you're joining in late, that's kind of why we're talking about this, based on events that happened this past week that made me not want to be associated with Grand Seiko.
You bring up the name of Grand Seiko. You wear it well. Don't worry about that.
Well, thank you. Clayton's here as well. He was mentioning not going to get back into smartwatches, Sanjay, with the Mario. No, no, I'm not. Not a chance. I'm sure it's quite expensive, the Mario smartwatch with Tag Heuer.
I think it was 2000.
Yeah, see, that's insane. For something that
Cheaper than a Grand Seiko.
Yeah. But it's something you throw away. It's not something that's going to last very long. It's just boggles the mind. Seiko 5 is becoming a fashion brand line. Yep. I agree with you there, Danny. Amin is here as well. We're talking yellow gold GS stunners. We sure are, Amin. We sure are.
Next stream will be integrated bracelets. So
Yeah.
tune in for that one.
No sundials for me. Nope. Can't do concept dials either. Jay, that's a good point. That's kind of how you would describe that, a concept dial.
And I don't like skeleton dials.
Yeah. I used to like skeleton dials when I first got into the hobby, but yeah, now I can't really handle skeleton.
Or watches which you can read the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's so busy that something's going on. So.
Yeah. Okay. JCB mentioned the other comment that I wanted to bring up, pet peeve, which was overlapping subdials, like on the El Primero. The previous gen El Primero had a subdial, the hour subdial, one of the previous gen, overlapped over the minute subdial. So from minutes 20 to 25 were obscured, which is ridiculous. I can't believe that was a design choice. But
like a Venn diagram, like there's an intersection.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And yeah, the hour dial would be, or the hour subdial would be over the minute subdial. Some of them actually have the minute subdial over the hour subdial, which kind of makes a bit more sense. But yeah, so the hours are obscuring the minutes. Which
there's some longer ones also that intersect too.
Really?
Yeah, which I didn't want, but it's there.
Yeah. Sorry if you hear my my son over there. But yeah, I cannot handle that El Primero. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about that, if it would bug you at all. I know a lot of us don't really use chronographs.
Yeah, but when I was using the subdials, at least when I was trying to get the longer one,
yeah,
there were ones that were cheaper, but of course they intersected, and it just kind of ruins the symmetry.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
you.
for me, I find most chronograph subdials are hard enough to read on their own. And if you put them too close together or overlapping, you just ruin the functionality.
Yeah. And I think Zenith kind of realized that as well, because they fixed it in the following generation, which was the one I did own, the El Primero 38mm Chronomaster. They fixed the subdials. They kind of spaced it just enough they still overlap very slightly, but you could still read the minutes and the hours without them being obscured. So really good point there, JCB. With that, that definitely hit a nerve. Okay, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us, everyone in the chat. It was really good having you here. I always enjoy chatting with you all. You guys make it. And yeah, I am grateful for each and every one of you. Thanks, Toran and Bobby, for coming on. I thought it was just going to be me today, so it was way more fun, having someone to bounce ideas off of. But anyway, everyone, do you guys have anything to plug coming up, Toran, Bobby?
I'll probably be releasing a review of my Citizen Signature Grand Touring in the next day or so, which to me, I really consider it like a budget alternative to this Omega Aquaterra. Just the finishing and the dial layout's kind of similar.
Yeah.
So if people want to check that out, that'd be cool.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm just going to show Snoopy again. Sorry. I do like Snoopy.
Let's
This is an amazing
solo shot. There we go.
There we go.
Is the chrono running?
Yes, the second. You can see the Earth moving too.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
There we go. Great.
Really cool.
That's only it.
Well, thanks everyone. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Oh, watch Soup tomorrow, 9 p.m. See you guys.